he says that that concept was imported by early Christians who would read the readings of ancient philosophers like Plato, who weren't Christians and talked about the soul being immortal, eternal. And so you're going to go to one of two places forever. You're going to go to heaven forever, or you're going to go to the bad place, hell, or you know, whatever it is, forever. And that they imported that and just considered it a given, and then brought that into Christianity. But that the Bible, particularly in the Old Testament, never talks about the eternality, immortality of the wicked souls. The only ones who have immortal souls are those who are granted eternal life. And that's only believers. Jesus died so that we could have eternal life. But do the wicked have eternal life in hell? And if they do, why does the Old Testament describe the fate of the wicked in the opposite terms?
Exactly.
For example, the Old Testament describes the fate of the wicked with 3 words: death, perish, and destroy. The soul that sins, it shall die. It will perish. It will be destroyed, which is like the ending of life, not the ongoing life forever in punishment.
Okay, that is Kirk Cameron talking about hell, eternal punishment. He seems to be advocating what is known as conditional immortality, the belief that nobody's soul lives forever and that we gain immortality by believing in the gospel. I have a lot of respect for Kirk Cameron and Ray Comfort, because through them I effectively learned how to evangelize using the law and the 10 Commandments. But on his new standpoint, he's way off. He says that the Old Testament doesn't talk about the immortality of the soul. Again, this is not correct. Daniel mentions it in Daniel 12:2. This is what it says: "And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt." Daniel's talking about the resurrection of the just and the unjust, and he uses the word everlasting on both counts. So if the word everlasting is not eternal, then that means it's not eternal for the righteous either, seeing as the same Hebrew word is used in both contexts. Just because the Greeks believed in something does not make it automatically wrong. We have an expression in English: a broken clock is right twice a day. This idea that the Christians took the Greek theology and philosophy and applied it to Christian thinking is just ludicrous, and it's unproven. And the people who promote this kind of Christian outlook on punishment, who don't believe in eternal punishment, they don't seem to understand what eternal life is. I had one person say to me, well, if people were living forever in hell, then technically that means that they have eternal life. There are 2 problems with this thinking. Number 1, if somebody dies and they depart from their body, right, they're dead. They're still existing. A believer who's gone to be with the Lord is still a dead believer. Secondly, what is eternal life according to Jesus? Is it existing forever? Is it merely that you are around? No. Jesus defines eternal life this way. And this is eternal life: that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ whom you have sent. Therefore, is it possible to exist and not know God? Yes. Therefore, is it possible to not have eternal life and still exist in another place under punishment? Yes. The message of Christianity is not so that we can exist forever. The message of Christianity is so that through the death and resurrection of Jesus, we can be reconciled to God. By being reconciled to God, we have eternal life. And that eternal life begins now when we accept Jesus. And he says as well that the 3 words that describe the wicked is death, perish, and destroy. I want to draw your attention to 2 things. First of all, what is the lake of fire known as? The second death. That's where all unbelievers are going, the second death. As for the word destroy, I want to use another word which is destruction, which is similar, except destroy is more of a verb, destruction is more of a noun, and destruction has the essence of something being completed. So surely this word would fit better with annihilationism, except it doesn't. Listen to the Bible. 2 Chronicles 26:16. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction. Listen to the word destruction. For he transgressed against the Lord his God, by entering the temple of the Lord to burn incense on the altar of incense. So my question is, what was happening here? You had the king Uzziah, who wanted to go into the temple and offer incense, which was only lawful for the priests, the sons of Aaron, to do. What was this destruction the Bible is talking about? Was he wiped out? Was he immediately struck dead by this event? Did he die? Did he get blotted out from existence? No. What happened? Read the story for yourself in 2 Chronicles 26. As he was getting angry with the priests and the Levites trying to stop him from offering the incense because he was breaking the law, immediately leprosy broke out on his forehead and he had to leave in shame, and he had to spend the rest of his days in a separated house in quarantine. That was his destruction. Not being blotted out, not being killed, not being destroyed, but being cut off from the community and enduring shame. Therefore, I submit to you that people who die under the wrath of God, they are everlasting shame and contempt. It is completely biblical, it is completely just, and that they do not have eternal life because they don't know God. Another thing I would like to quickly address is about the punishment not fitting the crime. Why would God punish someone for eternity for committing sin in a small period of time? I'm from England. If I slap my friend in England, I get slapped back. If I slap a policeman, I'm likely to be taken to jail for the night. If I slap the king, that's a different matter. If I tried to slap King Charles, I would go to prison for a very long time because my punishment is according to the person to whom my offence was committed. And every time we sin, we slap in the face an eternally holy and worthy God. Therefore, an eternal punishment is worthy of those who sin against this God. Job 26:5-6. The dead tremble, those under the waters and those inhabiting them. Sheol is naked before him, and destruction has no covering. If punishment for the wicked is not eternal, then that means ultimately there are no consequences for sin. The lake of fire is eternal, and make sure you're not going there.